So should barbers have grace periods for appointments? In this video, I'm going to do my best to answer that question for you and give you some guidance on the way that we do it at our barbershop. Let's start off by defining what a grace period even is. So when I'm referring to a grace period, it means how much are you going to allow a client, how many minutes usually are you going to allow them to be late before you turn them away and basically say, sorry, I don't have enough time. And the answer that I give you might surprise you. So I was talking to a barber about this just a couple days ago, and it's one of the things that comes up a lot in training because everybody's concerned about staying on time with appointments, as you should be, right? Because you want to respect your client's time. But sometimes it doesn't go the other way, and the clients don't respect your time. So then the question a lot of barbers have is, where do I draw that line? When do I say everything before this is okay versus everything after this not okay? And I used to say that our grace period was 5 minutes, but since then I've learned some things. And so that's what I wanted to make this video for, to give you some perspective on why I don't have necessarily a hard line that we draw. It's more so a guide and a way to think about things. And also I'll give you some tips on what to do. So let's say somebody does come in past your grace period, but you can do some customer service things to make it so that you can still accommodate them and still make it so everybody's happy, right? So when it comes to a grace period, this is the way I think about it. It depends on the haircut, right? So in our shop, we do 30-minute appointments, and sometimes these clients come in and they have pretty simple haircuts. The haircuts are maybe like the same length all around, like a 2 all over or something, or they'll do like simple taper, men's tapered cut, where it's like a 2 or 3 on the side and maybe some scissors on top. Something that we can easily do in a matter of 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes. So in that case, if somebody showed up, they had an appointment with me and they showed up a few minutes late, I'm not going to turn that client away. I don't really care what the grace period is, because I know that I can take that haircut back, give them a good quality haircut, good experience overall, and still finish on time and get my next one back on time. So for that, my grace period might be like 10 minutes, right? They can show up 10 minutes late. I can still take them back, finish the entire haircut, do a great haircut, and then finish them on time and take my next one back on time. Now, if on the other side of that, let's say I had a client who comes in 5 minutes late, but they get like a super detailed haircut. They have super thick hair that shows every single flaw in line. They want a low skin fade with a hard part, and they want some texturizing and scissors on top. Maybe they want a little design or something on the side, right? And this client maybe is on top of that, maybe like they're picky and they're always going to point something out that you have to fix. So in that case, maybe 5 minutes is too much of a grace period, right? Because I'm going to need every minute of that 30 minutes, if not more, to finish that haircut to the quality that the clients want. So I don't think that there is a rule that applies in every situation. I think it's ultimately, and this is what I tell the barbers, it's ultimately up to you as far as the barber, whether you feel like you can get that haircut done on time with the level of quality that the clients want. Because ultimately, the clients care less about time than they do about quality. But what we want to shoot for is both. Can we do high quality and get them done within a reasonable time? And if you can figure that out as a barber, then you're going to make a lot of money in this business. All right, so now we got the should you have a grace period or not established. I think it's a case-by-case basis. You want to really look at who is the person coming in and who is the barber getting them done. So if you're a barbershop owner and you're looking at your barbers, some barbers are going to be able to get that haircut quicker than others, right? That's just the way it is. And same thing with clients. Some clients are just a little bit quicker to take care of than others. That's because everybody's hair is different when it comes to clients. Everybody's style is different. And when it comes to the barbers, everybody's technique might be a little bit different. So it really depends on the barber, depends on the client, depends on the situation. But one thing that we found in our shop that we like to do is we try to figure out, as opposed to can I do it, which I don't think is a good mindset to have. I think you want to have the mindset of how can we do this? So if a client shows up late, rather than thinking can we accommodate him, think about how can we accommodate him. Much more productive way of thinking, I think. So the way we utilize that thinking in our shop is, okay, so let's say this client shows up past your, whatever you decide your grace period is based on that situation, right? And you have another client coming in. Well, what I would do is I would say, can somebody take my next appointment, the one that's I'm afraid of running into after, right? So that way I have enough time to take the guy that showed up late. That's one scenario, right? Another scenario would be, can somebody else, but that's not me, take care of that client that showed up late? It doesn't have to be me. Like, if you're a barbershop owner, especially, not everybody has to go to the same barber, even if they specifically requested that barber. I wouldn't force people to go to somebody else, but you would just politely tell the client, like, hey, sorry, I don't have enough time. I got somebody else coming in, but the so-and-so over here is great and they're available for you right now. Or you can see if the next client that's on the books is cool with going to somebody else, right? Either way, the mindset is you want to think about how can we accommodate that, and also think about it in the sense of, what if they're getting multiple services? So in our example, let's say a client is getting a haircut and a beard trim. So they showed up late, so now you only have time for one of those services. So I would ask them, what's more important to you, the haircut or the beard, right? And let's say that the hair is more important. So I would take care of the hair, but then I would see if there's somebody else available to take care of the beard, right? We call that musical chairs, right? So I would take care of the haircut, or I have another barber take care of the haircut, and then I would take care of the beard or whatever, right? So then there's no reason that one barber has to do all the services, especially if you're in a barbershop and you guys are working together as a team. One barber can take care of the hair, somebody else can take care of the beard, and they each get credit for what they did when you check them out, and problem solved. A lot of times, you'd be surprised, clients don't care, right? They probably prefer not to hop in and out of chairs, but ultimately what they care about is how they look when they leave, right? And that they got what they wanted. So it's totally fine to have one barber take care of one service and another barber take care of another service, as long as the client is cool with it, right? So it's a little foreign way of thinking to some barbers, but you don't have to do every single service for the client. You can have your teammates take care of one of them, and then the client leaves happy and everybody's happy, everybody stay busy. So, and then another important thing to note with the grace period, right, is I would not advertise it, right? Because when you advertise a grace period for appointments, that turns into the new appointment time. So if you have a grace period, keep it internal. Don't put it out there, because clients are going to treat that as, oh, it's okay to be a few minutes late. No, it's not okay. We want clients to be early or on time at least, right? So don't tell people like our grace period is 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to start showing up at 5 or 10 minutes late, because that's, you basically told them and gave them permission that it was okay to do that. So don't advertise your grace period for appointments if you decide to have one, because people will start to treat that as the new appointment time, right? And another thing, right, I'm so glad I remember this, because this comes up a lot, but some barbers get frustrated with clients showing up late to appointments, but they don't keep in mind that they are always running late for appointments. So if you're constantly running behind on appointments, your clients are going to start showing up late, because you're punishing the behavior that you want, which is your clients showing up on time. If you want your clients to show up on time, then you need to be on time as the barber. So otherwise, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to have your clients start showing up late because you taught them to do that, or they're going to start going to somebody else. Either way, the scenario is bad, right? So you need to start figuring out how to finish your haircuts on time so that you can take your next one back on time, or you're going to have to deal with this situation a lot, which is, should I take this client back because they were late? Well, you trained the client to be late. So it goes both ways. Like, you can't be mad at the client for showing up late for their appointment, but you're always late for taking them back too. So keep that in mind. A lot of barbers don't think about that, but if your clients are always showing up early or on time for their appointments, but you're late, you're punishing that good behavior, right? And eventually they're going to stop doing it. They're either going to stop coming or they're going to start going to somebody else. So really important point. Keep that in mind, right? And if you need help with lowering your haircut times, I have a free barber group called the Barber Mastermind, which has a how to cut hair faster course inside that can help you make more money without raising prices, just by cutting hair more efficiently. So if you want to learn more about that group, it's in the link for this video. And on the topic of punishing and rewarding behavior, it's the last thing I'll say. And so this is a situation that I give to my barbers a lot when they're starting out. But I often ask this question to barbers when they're starting out. So you have 2 appointments that are scheduled back to back. Let's say one's at 12:30. Your 12 o'clock appointment shows up late at 12:15, we'll say. Your 12:30 appointment shows up early, also at 12:15. So they both show up at the same time. Which one do you take back first? Well, this is what I would do. In most cases, because everything is case by case, I would take back the appointment that showed up early first. Why is that? Because I want to reward that behavior of showing up early. That's the behavior that I want. So I'm not going to punish the guy that showed up early by making him wait. What I'm going to do is make the guy that showed up late wait for his appointment. I'm just going to swap him. I'm going to take the 12:30 guy back, and then when I finish the 12:30 guy, then I'll take the 12:15 guy. Or more likely what I would do is I would tell one of my other barbers, hey, can you take care of the guy, the one that was late, right? And then I take care of the 12:30 and everybody wins, right? Because we like to work together as a team at our barbershop. So I don't care. I don't have to take care of every client. They could take them. Everybody's happy. But so what I'm going to probably do is get the client to go to a different barber, the one that was late. And it's not a punishment in a way to make them go to another barber. But I don't want to take care of them if they showed up late and I have somebody else who did the right thing and showed up on time or early. So in most cases, I'm going to take back the appointment that was early first, and then I'm going to either make the guy wait that was late, or I'm going to see if somebody else can take care of him. So that way I can stay on time with my appointments. And also, just keep in mind that it's okay to fall behind on appointments every now and then. I think clients get it. As long as it's just like a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Ideally, we always want to be on time in a perfect world, but every client's different, every situation's different, and it's not going to always be possible to always be on time. The important thing is that you are able to catch up if you do fall behind, because I don't think clients mind waiting a few minutes past their appointment time, but when it starts to get to like 10, 15, 20, even half an hour behind when your scheduled time was, that's when clients start to really get annoyed, especially if you have clients that really value their time, like lawyers, doctors, like professional people. Sometimes these people are coming in on their lunch break, and that's all the time they have, and they got to get back to work, right? Plus, you still got to cut their hair, right? Let's say you're running half an hour behind, you still got to cut their hair. So if let's say best case scenario, you do the haircut in like 30 minutes. So they've been at the shop for an hour. They only have maybe an hour for a lunch break. So they're already going to be back to work late. So timing is super important, not just for you as a barber, but it's also important to the clients, right? So we want to get clients in and out in as efficiently as possible. Otherwise, you're going to start to see that a lot of clients are going to start coming in on the weekends because they don't trust you to be able to get their haircut done within an hour, so they can't come in on their lunch break anymore, and they don't want to come in after work after they're tired. So what's going to happen is they're all just going to start coming in on their day off, which is usually like Saturday, Sunday, right? So if you always have people coming in on the weekends, it's probably because you need to cut a little bit faster, so that way you can start to shift people. Hey, maybe you can come in on your lunch break instead, and that way you can get it done in the middle of the day and still get back to work on time. So when it comes to grace periods, I don't think you should have like a hard rule, because I think it depends on the situation, the haircut, the client, the barber. So keep that in mind. I think it depends on case by case basis, but hopefully this video helped you out a little bit to think about how you don't have to just turn people away. You can try to figure out a solution that makes everybody win. So hopefully that helped.